and welcome to a new day. Hello, this is Tony from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure of OPE, other people's expectations. And should I also tack on, etc., etc., etc. What's going on today? Well, this is a new episode. And for those of you who've been following me at freedomatthecrossroads.com and on Instagram at Tonyataria Health, I'm also on Twitter at Taria Health. But for those of you who have been following me off and on consistently or what have you, you know that starting this podcast season, back earlier this year, I said this was the season of the undomesticated woman, and that moving into this summer, I was going to be talking about the huntress, moving into the huntress, owning that great feminine presence. And I dropped little hints off and on about it, about, what to expect and what was the frame of all of that. And, it's already the middle of the month, the middle of the year, and it's time to start speaking more about the huntress. Now, for those of you who don't know, I said undomesticated woman because I am speaking to the breaking down of the shackles of other people's expectations, society, culture, the conditioning, and the domestication that women have been subjected to, through the generations. And actually, for centuries, women have been forced and boxed into certain roles. They have been excluded from, certain privileges and certain rights. Even in this season here of 2019 and, the political, as we're getting ready to move into a political season, more political season rather, here in the U.S., the issue of women's rights, women's basic civil and human rights of, ownership of self, personhood, is up for grabs. And I feel that it's going to become even more of a hot topic and more of a trigger the closer we move into the 2020 election cycle. But that aside, what connection does this all have to do with self-care? Well, as I said before, and I will continue to say, self-care is activism. It is a movement. It is self-advocacy. It is reclaiming your power on the physical front, but also emotionally, spiritually, mentally, in all sectors of your life. I find and have found that the whole journey of self-care is such a powerful personal and physical development journey that you can't leave out anything that matters to us as women, that matters to us as people. And if you want to change your state, you want to get off that hamster wheel going nowhere, if you want to stop allowing or being conditioned to objectification of who you are as an individual, not having ownership of your time, of who you are, feeling like you're never enough, overstressed, overwhelmed, you have yourself at the bottom of that list of to-dos, it's time to break that toxic and unhealthy cycle of living. There is only bondage there. There is no fulfillment. There is no personal development, and there is no achievement. And allowing yourself to remain in that state of conditioning and domestication is you deceiving yourself. Let us be sincere. When you have ownership of yourself, of your personhood, on all levels. It's very difficult, near impossible, to accept limitations put upon you by others. And so self-care has become and is a very powerful tool and mechanism for women to rise up and reclaim their power, their personhood, set healthy boundaries, develop themselves on all levels, and really achieve ultimate fulfillment and really tap into their potential that they were really called here to, express and share with the world. Let us be clear. You cannot serve from a place of emptiness. You cannot give from a place of emptiness. There is no way you can go out there and truly achieve your dreams, find fulfillment, and do those things that are really meaningful in the human experience if you are conditioned, shackled, and bound to conditioning and domestication, aka other people's expectations. If you do not free yourself by first becoming awakened to the fact that you are in a current state of conditioning and domestication, but that aside, you cannot achieve any of these lofty goals, any of these things that truly impassion you, that truly bring meaning to your life as a human being, that truly minister to you and move you to a place of growth and development. You can't achieve any of that if you're stuck and bound. If you want to get healthy, you have goals of, bringing your body physically, into alignment and really getting and gaining, the most healthy version of yourself and feeling really good about yourself and really being connected and whole. You can't achieve any of that if you don't break those shackles of conditioning and domestication and all of those other structures and strictures that have been put upon you by society, culture, and other obligations because you don't know who you are and you're just spinning on that hamster wheel going nowhere. And that's what's so important. That's what's at the core of self-care. I often tell my clients that, hey, that goal that you say, okay, you want to get physically fit. It's not just about getting physically fit. It's not just about losing weight or, fitting into that particular dress size or pant size you've been dreaming of all these years. It's not about that. All of that is icing on the cake. That weight loss that you want to achieve, that healthy living that you want to achieve, all that is icing on the cake because at the core of that is personal development through self-care, through the self-care journey, which calls upon you to really develop yourself, to break unhealthy connections, to really grow personally as an individual, to set important boundaries, learning to set important boundaries, learning to say no, learning to break the silence. For so long, we have been conditioned into thinking that the world or other people can read our minds, or if we're just silent and suffer in silence, people will recognize that, they're overstepping bounds, or society will recognize that you've earned your rights at the table. No. None of that's going to happen. You have got to rise up and claim your power. You do not need to earn your seat at any table on the world's front. You are a human being. You have dignity. You have personhood. So break the silence and assert it. But there's only one way to truly achieve that, and that is largely through the mechanism, through the journey of self-care, because self-care calls upon you to define boundaries. It calls on you to develop skills and strategies for living a whole and healthy life, for personal development, and really achieving that ultimate self that you have the potential and capability of being. Now, we're all unique and beautiful in our own ways, and we all bring unique, powerful gifts within us, but none of that can be expressed or unpacked if you are not awakened, if you are bound, if you are spinning on that hamster wheel, ladies, going nowhere. If you are silenced. And the first step is, I say all the time to my clients, and I say to my friends, I even say this to myself, to embark upon that much needed journey of self-care, much needed journey of personal development and empowerment, you've got to do 3 things. You've got to make a decision. Make the decision. Get a plan. Take action. And action in capital letters, people. Action in capital letters. And the powerful thing about all of that is that self-care is the action, is the activism component that will kick your journey to the next level, that will kick you up to the next level, that will help you level up, ladies, level up your life. You want to see powerful movement and change in your life on all levels, in your physical body, in your way of thinking, in your way of feeling, in your way of being, in the way that you perceive the world, in the way that the world perceives you. You start on the internal. Because nothing is sustainable. Healthy living, weight loss, healthy eating, healthy relationships, creating healthy connections and relationships and ways of interacting with the environment and people around us. None of that is sustainable without a shift in mindset. And that's part of the awesome power of the self-care journey. It forces you to work on your mindset and make those necessary changes mentally that will be replicated in other areas of your life and in other levels of who you are as an individual. Mentally, spiritually, physically. There have been so many philosophers and wise men and women who have said ultimate power comes from dominion over self. When you have dominion over yourself, no one can have dominion over you. And that is part of the power of self-care. And so when I say it's time for the huntress, that's what I mean. That powerful force, assertive force. When I speak of the huntress, I am transitioning from that cycle of the undomesticated woman. The undomesticated woman has gone through that journey of self-care, breaking down toxic connections, learning to assert self, learning to say no, developing healthy boundaries, and personal developments. That's the undomesticated woman. When you move into the cycle, when you level up to the huntress, you are ready to move forward and outward, asserting who you are as an undomesticated woman, going after and achieving those things you were always called to be. So this is Tonye at Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure. Let the huntress arise. It is her season. Till next time.